Yes, finally guys, we have the pea puffers. Go on, little fella. Go on, hunt them down. Hunt them down. Who wants to be on YouTube? Okay, so I phoned ahead and Sam's actually sorting the pea puffers out for me now, which is great. Yes, finally guys, we have the pea puffers. So the goldfish are now in their new home, which means that this tank here is actually bare, but I've got really good plans for that coming up, which I'll reveal later on, but you know, don't need to know that yet. But for this episode, we are looking at the puffer tank. Many of you have seen that video. If you haven't, I'll leave a link up the top now. Didn't go quite according to plan. Let me tell you why. Right, here we are in a fish room. For those of you who haven't seen any of my videos before, this is my fish studio. I've got all of my tanks going on. I've got my new Ranchu tank set up. Again, link for that up in the corner. It's doing really well. And they haven't eaten any of the plants at all. The only things they have done is completely demolished all of the duckweed that I put at the top. So I've put some salvinia in there now. They don't like that, so that's good. So I can just put a little bit of duckweed in every now and again as a treat from this tank. This tank is my no filter tank with a filter. This is the filter that was running on the tank that they were in. I want to keep it going, keep it all healthy, keep the bacteria going. So I've just plugged it in here for the time being so that then I can instantly add fish when I escape that other tank. It seems such a shame to sort of stop a really good filter. Tank in question today is the puffer tank. So I did have a dragon puffer in here, as lots of you saw. He was absolutely awesome, so cool, loved him. Problem was, I never saw him, ever. And that's no good for me really as a fish keeper or as a YouTuber. I'm sure you can understand that. But guys, now's probably a good time to say, if you want to go take a look at my Patreon, or Patreon as you Americans say, yeah, just go and take a look. If you fancy donating anything, that'd be great. Maybe look at some of my merchandise down below the video as well, and the links to Teespring. Any money raised from either of those two will be going straight into my fund for my new studio, which can be 4 times as big as this place, and it just means I can make even better videos for you. All completely my fault, of course. I made a snap decision buying him, which you should never do, but he was so cute in the shop. They kept him in a small tank, you see, so he was always at the front and always personable and always happy. It wasn't ideal for him, so he was behaving in an uncharacteristic way. So when I got him into a bigger tank, lots of hiding places, he just went, didn't see him. Only time I saw him was when I fed him. He ate the food and went straight back to hiding again, you know. So I just thought, well, if I take him back to the shop, someone else can buy him that potentially knows this, has done a bit of research better than me. You know, I did the responsible thing at the end of the day. But, so, since then, this tank has just, like, plants have pretty much died on it, and I don't know if you saw looking around then, and I will cut to some scenes of my different other tanks now. I don't get problems with plants dying. A lot of people say that I'm very fortunate in the fact that I have soft water here, and as a result, my plants grow so well because CO2 is more regularly available, even background levels in soft water, apparently. So that the only reason I can say that the plants are all dying in it is because there's so much waste produced by the puffer and the feeding that it just killed the plants off. They're slowly starting to actually come back because it looked a lot worse than this. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to drain the tank, well, take the plants out first, drain the tank, clean it up as best as I can. I had cyano in here and everything, it was awful. But I just left the light down dim and just let it sort of do its thing. So I'm going to drain this tank and I'm going to redo it. I'm going to keep the hardscape where it is. I like where it is because I can keep the sand at the front, although I'll clean it up and put it back in. I'm going to replant it, take out the plants that are dead, done, finished, put some nice new plants back in, and then we can go and get some pea puffers. That was the plan all along, to put the pea puffers in here. We can put in there, and then we can compare what we think's better. Now, obviously, because I didn't see the dragon puffer that often, you know, it's not really a fair comparison. But saying that, you know, I think it's good to educate people on the differences between these two things in case they see in the shop dragon puffer there, pea puffer there, and they think, oh, the dragon puffer looks awesome, I'm getting that. And look at him, he's all up at the glass, it looks great. That's not how they behave, you know. They're ambush predators, they hide and wait for something to come along and bam, they have it. I didn't even see that obviously because I didn't keep fishing with them. So, but anyway, right, let's get draining and let's get scaping. Planting, actually, it's already scaped. Another good thing is that that wood's going to stay sunken now as well, so I can remove these horrible bands on it. I can put some nice new ferns in as well, so let's do it. Right, we're drained. I managed to save quite a few nicer plants that were actually in there, so I can replant those. Plus, I've got a load of plants I'm just currently keeping in Pancho's 4-foot aquarium, which I'll leave a link for. But yeah, the tank's looking good. There's a couple of gaps just in there where some soil's leaking out. Soil's looking good, all clean now. Basically, we've got a really good base to restart from. You know, sometimes you make mistakes, you just got to start again. It's not an issue. So let's get our hardscape back in. That's all rubbish down there, but we've got the hardscape. I can remove this band now because this is fully, you know, it's fully waterlogged and it all just sinks. So we'll get that in first so we can then build the scape around it. Right, that's the planting finished, guys. I've planted very heavy there. I think you could probably see that. Oh, that's me smashing the tank. Now, most people don't edit that out, but I'm going to leave that in just to show you how much of an idiot I am. But yeah, so I planted very heavily there. There's not really any space to plant any more. The reason I've done that is that if you want to have like maximum chance of success of a new setup, I know this isn't new, but it's kind of new technically, then you want to plant as heavy as possible. And you know, plant as much as you can afford. The best investment you can make is in your plant. So do that just from the outset. Buy as many as you can afford. If you've got an extra £10 or $10 or €10 or whatever, buy some extra ones. That's my best advice to you. Plant as heavy as you can when you start. And the reason I say that is that I get so many people messaging me pictures of their tanks asking why it's failing, and I can just see straight away they've got like 3 plants. They've got like one there, one there, one there, and I'm like, you're not planting heavy enough. The fish are healthy normally, but they've got algae everywhere. Bright light, about 3 plants, and wondering why there's algae. Plant heavy, guys. Right, now we're ready. Just let's fill it up with water, and then I can add a few more of the plants that I want to as well. So I want to add some of this Hydrocotyle Japan that I've got sat in this shrimp tank down here, because I've just had it sat there. It had some algae on it from another tank, or not even algae actually, I think it was just detritus or something. Anyway, I put it down there, it's cleaned itself off really well with the shrimp in there. I'm going to put it into this tank, but I like to do that when there's actually water in, so you can just see how it's sitting. If I put it in now, it's just going to go and I can't really see what I'm doing. So when the water's in, we can put that at the front, and that will spread across all of this area really, really nicely. Let's fill it up. Oh no, hang on, actually, before I forget, look, obviously, of course, we've got to replace the gravel that's down here. I've got some nice quartz Hugo oh, that's terrible. I'll flash up what it is on screen. I've got some quartz-based gravel just to put around the front here, just to top all that up. Right guys, I've basically filled it up 3/4 of the way, and I've just noticed that, so on the surface there, there's a lot of scum from where the water level went below the soil, and as it's sort of come back through, it's lifted this up. I think it's best to remove this now, just by skimming the surface with just a small pot. Do it lots of times, and then it'll be nice and clean again. I'm going to top up the rest of the tank with hot water, so I can get it to the right temperature, so it's all ready for the puffers going today. And then the heater is also in this back section down here, or will be in a bit, and then it can carry on with the heat and keeping the temperature right for the puffers, because they do need a tropical temperature. Right, so that's the tank filled up. I've skimmed the surface off. I've removed most of the bits of broken plants and whatnot that were just on the surface. And now it's ready just to turn it on. A bit of condensation from the different temperature changes, but I've added warm water as well, so hopefully we're going to get to temperature a lot quicker. So you might have seen there, I've just taken off the filter material that I put over the end of this just to slow the flow down a bit, because obviously that's good for a marine tank, it's not good for little pea puffers. So once that's all cleared and running nicely, I will put the filter material back on just to slow that flow right down. Well, that's everything finished. Tank's looking really good, I think. Nice and clean, running smoothly. I just need to put that little cover over the outlet to slow that flow down a bit, because that's way too much for these tiny little puffers that we got. So I'll put that on, and then we'll go and get them. I've kept them in a nice little bowl inside the house. A few plants in there and whatnot, because I got them earlier on today, and this wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. So I've done a few more tweaks, got to get up to temperature, waited a bit longer, and now we're ready to go. So let's do it. Go on, little fella. Go on. Hunt them down. Hunt them down.